Austin, what's up, dude?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Are you guys in off season right now?
So I'm kind of in a weird situation. I'm in between transitioning into a new team.
For sure.
So I've been in Montenegro the last 4 or 5 months. Finished up a part of the season there, and then just got bought out and signed a new contract with another team in the same region in Bosnia.
Got you.
So,
Okay, cool. So, dude, I want to just kind of starting off, I want to take it back to your college days. You were telling me before that you played at Belmont. Shout out Nashville. How did you end up choosing Belmont? And then what did that whole process playing like in college?
Yeah, it was, high school, I went to Rowlett High School, and we had a ton of colleges in there every day, not to see me, but to see we had two other players that were high major players. And so tons of colleges in there, and, was lightly recruited, I would say. Went on a couple visits, and went to Nashville. Like you said, Nashville's amazing city. Visited the campus, and, if anybody knows anything about college basketball, the Belmont basketball program is elite. Winning as much as anybody in the country relative to they don't play at the highest level, but they win as much as anybody. And so just talking with the coaches, meeting the guys, and feeling that culture, being in Nashville, everything kind of pointed to going there. And I had a couple other small interests, but I went on an official visit, and they offered me. They told me it was between me and another guy. And I walked to the elevator with my dad, and I was like, let's just take it right now. Like, let's just go back, tell him we want to take it. And he was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah. So went back, told him we want to take it, and the rest is history.
Dang, dude, that's real. Like, most coaches won't tell you, like,
Yeah.
it's between you and you know that, but, like.
Looking back, maybe they were trying to put some pressure on me because later on I found out who it was, and this guy was never going to commit to Belmont. He was like I think he went to Tennessee or Virginia.
Got you.
So, like, maybe they put a little bit of pressure on me, but, like, that's okay. I knew I wanted to be there, and it worked out amazing for me. So, kind of a cool moment in the elevator with my dad, just, like, knowing it's where I wanted to be in my heart. I could feel it. So,
for sure.
it was really nice.
Yeah, so, like, you get there, you're a freshman. Did you play right away, or how did that look?
No, man. I tell everybody I was so bad. I'm not the most, having confidence just in any situation. I need to kind of earn my confidence and have, people believe in me, and that instills confidence in me. So I didn't have any of that early on. I was, small fish in a big pond. And at Belmont, it's a lot about the system, offensively, defensively, just kind of relearning how they want you to play. Every college is probably that way, but Belmont more so. So I was bad. I redshirted my first year just because I wasn't ready. To be honest, I was just happy to be on the team at that point. Great guys, great coaches, great program. Goal of mine in high school was to save my parents money by getting a full scholarship. I did that. So I was just along for the ride, really, making the most out of what I can. People, they think when I say that means I wasn't working hard. I definitely was, the same way I would have if I was trying to go to the NBA. But I was just very content being there and just grateful. So as time went, I got better and better. I started to really read the game well, and things went my way, I would say, too. So sophomore year, redshirted my freshman year, then redshirt freshman year. I played a little bit, sometimes didn't play at all, sometimes played 10 minutes. And then the sophomore year was between me and another point guard, and something happened with him, and the starting point guard spot was mine. And so from sophomore, junior, senior year, I was starting. Maybe as a sophomore I wasn't ready, but it was an opportunity for me to jump in there and kind of learn on the fly. So,
do you think that starting when you were young kind of helped you develop faster?
For sure. I think with everything, experience is huge. And for confidence too, because like I said, I needed that for myself, and I needed to know that everybody believed in me. And then once that happened, everything just took off from there. So yeah.
Dude, one of the main things that I like when I went to Texas, one of the main things that I was hearing was like, oh, starters have more leniency. And like everyone knows this, especially if you've played basketball at a higher level. Like, you know that the starters have more leniency than some of the bench guys. Did that transition, did it feel like that for you?
For sure. And part of that was that I was kind of the only point guard that sophomore year.
Got you.
So, but that's, that's everywhere. That's everywhere. Yeah. The coaches are going to have this preset in their mind of like, this guy is our guy. These 5 guys are our guys. And so naturally they're going to get a little bit more leeway. If that's earned or if it's not earned, that's a different story. And that's different in every situation. But, yeah, and I think that's necessary to have some leeway. It's not so fun when you're not the guy that's not getting it. But when you're trying to find yourself as a starter, like, it's very useful. So, yeah, I guess it goes both ways. But it was necessary for me to have, I'm going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. But sometimes these coaches these days, they expect perfection. And I don't know if that's the best way to coach.
Yeah. Was your coach pretty cool about letting you play through mistakes and stuff?
In sports, success is not just about talent. It's about having the right tools to make every move count. That's where B1 Sports comes in. With next-level AI technology, we provide the tools so that way you can work harder, play smarter, and stay ahead of the competition. Just like a basketball team needs precise plays, you and your team need precise insights. B1 Sports combines artificial intelligence with sports science to give you all of the tools necessary so that way you can stay ahead of the competition. It all comes down to making smarter moves, being one step ahead, and having faster decision-making so that way you can win on and off the court. No matter what your game plan is, B1 Sports is your AI teammate that you can count on. Get ready to elevate your performance with data-driven AI technology that's always in your corner. Join the future of sports technology today at b1sports.com. It's time to play smarter, compete harder, and win bigger. Go to b1sports.com today.
So he was an older, super experienced. Has like 800 career wins, a legend in the college basketball world. 60 years old, offensive mastermind. He would draw up a play every time out. We would score every time. And I would say he was old school. As long as we were doing things within the system, there was freedom. If you tried to start doing stuff outside of the system and not playing Belmont basketball, then that's when you get into trouble. Obviously, the other side of that too, with any coach, if you're making shots and you're making plays, they're probably not going to say as much as if you're making bad plays. Then of course they're always going to get on you, and it's going to be a problem. So he was really good to me. We butted heads every now and then just out of competitive spirit, but yeah, he was amazing for me. Really the biggest, I think, who influenced me the most in seeing the game the way I see it now.
Yeah. So I know, like, with a lot of mid-majors, early in the season, you guys will play against a lot of like ACC, SEC type teams. Do you have like a favorite memory from playing one of those games?
Man, people ask me this. In my career, we won at North Carolina, at Marquette. They beat UCLA the year after I left at UCLA. We beat Vanderbilt by 15. We beat Georgia at Georgia.
Yeah.
Like,
sounds right.
Some really big wins. We had losses too, obviously. We lost at Kentucky when they had Julius Randle and Harrison twins. But playing in those atmospheres was crazy. And like I said, at some of those games, I was just happy to be there. Like, just such a blessing to be able to play basketball on ESPN and, just along for the ride. So it was really cool to play those teams, really cool to beat those teams. And, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, obviously you guys won a lot more than you lost while you were at Belmont. Because, I mean, it's one, like you were saying, it's one of the most storied mid-major programs in the country, if not one of the most storied programs, period. Do you think that, or how do you think that winning and playing at Belmont helped prepare you to become a pro?
Yeah, I think just the attention to detail is one of the biggest things. Especially with how much basketball I've played now, and having some good coaches and some not so good coaches, seeing how everybody prepares in all different parts of the world, even the attention to detail, the scouting, the walkthrough of practices, and the specific things that we will work on in practice to prepare for each opponent. We would run totally different offensive sets depending on how the defense of the team we're playing was, which nobody else in my career has had that much, changing of offenses and defenses and tactics. So just the attention to detail, and then I don't know how you do this, but everybody bought in to the winning culture, the Belmont culture.
Yeah.
And I think that's special because everybody's also chasing their individual ambition. And if you can get 12 good players to buy into just winning at any cost, nobody caring who's the leading scorer, nobody caring who's getting the minutes, and I think that's special, but that's really hard to do. And I don't know how they do a great job recruiting because for the most part that's how it goes. You get those type of guys, and I think it pays off in the long run, winning more and more each year.
No doubt. So while you were at Belmont, obviously, like as you got older, you started to kind of see, oh, like maybe I can keep playing this after college. How did you come to realize that? What were those initial conversations like? How was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, this answer is different than probably every other basketball player, but I was just, each step along the way, I was just happy to be there. I was grateful, and I was working towards reaching my full potential, not necessarily to any specific goal, but just getting the most as I possibly could out of basketball. And at one time I thought that cap was college, and ended up not being the case. As I got to junior and senior in college, I was playing really well, and getting a bunch of agents in my Instagram. I knew nothing about European basketball. I didn't even know what that looked like, if it was realistic. So I just kind of started to do my research on it, and I guess even by the end of my senior year, I didn't know for sure that I wanted to play because I didn't know anything about it. But doing the research and just why would I not play? I love basketball. Just trying to keep it going as long as I can. A lot of guys, they don't nobody gets opportunity to do it, almost a very, very small percentage. And so I wanted to just maximize it as much as I can. Still going now, which is crazy to think about.
For sure. Real quick, what were you going to do if you decided not to hoop?
I think I would coach. Even when I'm done hooping, I think I'll coach, just because it's been such a big part of my life. And it doesn't feel like work to me.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm talking basketball, playing basketball, watching basketball, it never feels like a job. It's something that I love, and if I can continue to make a living off of something that I love, then I feel like that's the way to go. My dad was a coach, his dad was a coach, so it kind of runs in the family. So that's kind of always been on my heart.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens when the time comes. Whenever the time comes.
For sure. So we were talking before about like picking agents and how like that's such an integral part of the process.
For sure.
How did you go about interviewing agents and selecting one?
So one of my dad's former players was an agent at the time, and we didn't want him to represent me. He didn't want to represent me either, because you don't want to mix personal and business in that way. But he was the main person that kind of was sitting us down and helping us go through who we should interview, and then once we interviewed him, who we should hire. And he was a huge part of that. Really helped us because we knew nothing about it. Of course, you want to have your dad give you as much insight as possible, but if he's not well knowledgeable on the subject, what good is the the advice that he gives? So shout out Adrian Clark. He helped us a lot, and just interviewed a few and connected with one really well, and hired him, and he was really, really good to me.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So after Belmont, what was your first pro stop?
So after Belmont, I got a job in Latvia, which is a small country right next to Russia.
Right.
And super high level Russian VTB league as a rookie was probably too much for me at that time. And the same thing I told you when I was a freshman in college, it was a new world to me, literally a new world, being in Latvia, but also the basketball world was totally different. And so I struggled a lot, and I struggled, creating my own confidence again, kind of having to understand who I was as a player again, and as an individual. At Belmont, everything is so team oriented, and everybody's focused on that. As a pro, you want to be that way, but especially for a guy that what I do is pass the ball, but you also have to have some type of individual quality that comes with stats. Unfortunately, you have to kind of show yourself as an American over there. It's important, and so kind of having to relearn how to play. be a little bit selfish, which I wasn't really good at, and just learning, soaking up as much as I can about everything, culture, food, basketball, just trying to be a sponge because it was so new and just crazy to me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I have a lot of friends who have played overseas and are currently playing overseas.
Yeah.
One of the things that they always tell me is, like, Americans and their role overseas is, like, a lot of times you got to score the ball.
Yeah.
And you were just saying, like, your thing is to pass the ball.
Yeah, especially at a lower level. At the lower levels, you get 1 or 2 Americans on a team, and these guys do everything. The higher up levels you get, everybody can play. And so you almost have the opposite, where, like, you have 12 guys all playing 20 to 25 minutes, and the stats are all, like, everybody's averaging 11 points, but they're playing in the EuroLeague, and they're making millions. And so it's, like, it's a weird balance, especially for somebody like me. I can score the ball, but in an ideal world, I've had plenty of games where I shoot 0 shots. I have 14 assists.
Dang.
So, in an ideal world, that's what I want to do. But you have to find the balance of, like, looking like a complete player, and also, like, helping the team in the right way. Sometimes that's scoring the ball, sometimes that's passing. So I would say it depends, the culture of the basketball in that area. Sometimes the American's going to have to go for 40, and that's not the prettiest brand of basketball. Hopefully the higher ups that you get, it's a little bit more spread out. So it kind of depends.
For sure. Did you have, like, a favorite place that you've played at so far?
I would say everywhere has, their pros and cons. Some places basketball was great and the living wasn't great. Sometimes the living was amazing and the basketball was horrible. I played in Spain. Living was amazing. It was one of my roughest years, basketball. So, like, it depends on, like, what you value. My favorite, I'd say overall probably the Netherlands. I played 2 years there. My best basketball season was there. Averaged 17 and 10, and met some amazing friends. And Dutch people were so nice there. Amazing coaches and just everything. So if I had to choose one, probably that. Living in Spain, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I have a couple answers, but overall, I think the Netherlands is the place that has a special place in my heart.
That's what's up, man. So, dude, I want to look at youth basketball for just 1 second, because you said something that I never hear anymore.
Yeah,
is like, in an ideal world, you would have 14 points or 14 assists, 0 points.
Yeah,
like when you look at, because I play with a lot of guys and they're just like, oh, I have a bag, and their bag is, oh, I'm gonna shoot drag step back jumpers and, like, I'm gonna try to score all the points. Like, what do you have to say to those guys?
I'm gonna sound like a real old head right here, man. I'm only 30, but it's just the generation of it's not even their fault. It's just a generation of basketball that we live in, and it's the NBA. So it's difficult. I don't want to go on the tangent on this because
let it. I'm right there with you, bro.
It's hard to see because it's just going to continue to go downhill in that way, and I think basketball players are probably more skilled than they've ever been at the youth age, but I don't think that they're properly learning how to play and how to be a good teammate. There's cameras everywhere. There's mixtapes being made. I was coming up out of high school. If you to get a mixtape, you had to be, like, top 10 player in the country. Nobody's getting a mixtape.
Yeah.
Like, Julius Randle was the only guy in Dallas getting a mixtape in my class. My high school had 3 D1 players on it, and nobody had a mixtape. So
that's crazy.
Nowadays, I see 7-years-olds with mixtapes.
Yeah,
and
like my 11-year-old brother got a mixtape, bro.
7-year-olds with Instagram accounts. Like, this is an insane concept to me. But, like, I don't blame them. Like, everybody's trying to accomplish their goals. They're trying to get to college. This is all about exposure. Okay, I get all that, but for me, and this is, like, crazy because this is stuff my dad used to tell me, and I would be like, what are you talking about, man? Like, this is the world we live in, and so it's not for me. It's not my taste, but I can't hate on it, especially if it helps you get to your goals and get your college paid for, play basketball at the highest level. Then do what you got to do. Yeah,
man, I just think that there is too much of that.
Too much for sure, but like I said, hey. It's all. I think hopefully there's a motive behind it. Hopefully it's not just for the sake of show, But
for sure.
There's no way of knowing that, I guess.
Yeah, no way of knowing it, dude. I think it's funny because I watch these these kids play in a full game because I'm around a lot of AAU and high school basketball now with what I do, and like I watch them play, and then I go and I watch the mixtape of that same game, and I'm like, that's not even the same kid. Like it doesn't even look right.
A mixtape with 3 highlights, that's a good mixtape.
Yeah,
when you look at 3 highlights in them.
You think this kid's cold?
You go 3 for 17.
Yeah,
but you got 3 highlights, and there's no. You only see those for 40 seconds.
Right.
Those 3 highlights, and so nobody really knows. I mean,
yeah, I
go on and on about this, man. Anybody that knows me knows I'm passionate about, like, just these kids are like dancing after 3-pointers, and it's just so different from. And I sound so old right now, but that's okay.
Man, you got everyone in the studio cracking up right.
That's okay. I'll sound old for the day.
That's awesome, man. Dude. I'm with you though, man. Yeah. And like I will say, I'm a content guy. Yeah. Like this is now it's transitioned into more of what I gotta do. But it's a different world.
It's people's jobs and people get paid for it. So like that's the reason I can never, hate on. I mean, I can hate on it, but I can never. There's a motive behind it. So.
Every championship team needs reliable players, and in the kitchen, your equipment is your starting lineup. You need stainless steel solutions that perform under pressure, help you stay in the game, and finish the job. That's where Advanced Tabco's Smart Fabrication comes in. Just like a professional team trusts this MVP, you can trust Smart Fabrication to help you with all of your kitchen needs. From work tables to sinks to custom fabrications, Advanced Tabco delivers precision, durability, and excellence to help you win on every play. Whether you're running a fast food service kitchen or you're being meticulous about every detail, Smart Fabrication is built for the high stakes of food service. It's designed to help you optimize your space, maximize your workflow, and get consistent results every single time. And in a world where every second counts, there's no room for turnovers. That's why Advanced Tabco Smart Fabrication is your go-to teammate for building a kitchen that works just as hard as you do. Ready to bring home your food championship? Visit AdvancedTabco.com and get the equipment that helps you deliver the win.
Anyone who knows me knows that like I'm on the same wavelength as you. I hate on it just as much.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, for sure. So dude, that's funny, man. So looking at from like a coaching standpoint, what level would you want to coach at once you're done playing?
My dad did high school, and I think by the end of it, because of everything we're talking about, he grew to where he didn't enjoy it. And he's having to deal with kids that aren't taking it seriously, aren't getting the grades right, getting in trouble in class. And so I don't think I would want to deal with that. And yeah, I just feel like I would want to go to a higher level anyways. I've always thought I'd like college. Just recruiting, I think, would be fun. Like going to an AAU tournament and kind of puzzling, like, can this guy fit in my system?
Yeah.
Is this guy going to develop into a good player? Like, I think that part would be fun. But nowadays the recruiting has really, with the NIL, it's insane. College football is the worst, but also with basketball.
No, basketball's bad, man.
Yeah.
It's
I
bad.
mean, even like great teams, if you're not in the top 3 teams in the country, you're going to lose your best player because he's going to go make more money somewhere. Yeah. So I don't like the lack of continuity anymore. I would like to have a group of guys for 5 years, a player for 5 years, and be able to try to make him into the best player possible and make my team the best possible. So for that reason, I don't know. I mean, it's always been college until the last couple of years, but now maybe the NBA. I mean, I have a couple guys that have worked their way up the ladder that I know that I went to college with. So I don't know. I haven't really looked too much into it, what's realistic and what's doable.
Yeah.
Just kind of been focused on playing and making the most out of that. But I guess college probably is the answer for now, but we'll see. Especially with the NIL stuff, we'll see how it develops a little more.
Well, dude, you got high level coaches stepping down because they're just like they just can't handle. It's too much.
It's a generational thing. Yeah. It's like my dad. It's the same way as my dad. These coaches that grew up in a different generation with different values, and hard work is a staple, and these practices are difficult, and you just can't you can't coach like that anymore. I don't think you can't coach as hard nosed and tough, and so you've seen probably 4 in the last year, like legendary coaches just drop out of nowhere because they don't want to put up with everything that it comes with now.
Yeah, I was at this college coaches clinic a couple months ago, and they were saying, one of the guys was saying that over the course of a season with any particular player, you got about 3 bullets. Mm-hmm. And if you use those bullets too early, you lose them.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know, I understand both sides. I don't think the best way of coaching is to yell and scream, and I'm passionate about that also. But that some of that has to happen. Some of it's necessary, and I think there's a happy medium. You know, these kids nowadays probably don't get enough of that, and that's part of the culture and part of the generation too. So
For sure. Well, dude, this has been an awesome conversation. Before I let you go, we have a segment that we are calling Clutch Moments, presented by Clutch Shots AI. And in this segment today, I want to ask you, what is like one of the clutchest moments that you've had, whether it's college or pro?
like individually.
Yeah, I would say
Individual
individually, or if you take like a team moment.
So I'll do 2 team ones. At Belmont, we hit a game winner at North Carolina to win the game. I didn't hit it, but one of my teammates hit it. That was the craziest moment of my life. And then another game winner to win the conference tournament against Murray State, a really good Murray State team with Cameron Payne, and hit a buzzer beater to send us to the tournament, played Virginia in the tournament. So as a team, those are the 2 clutch moments. As an individual, I'm usually the one passing the ball, you know. So I hit a game winner last year in Croatia, step back 3 at the buzzer in a tie game. So that's might be my only game winner. So I guess I got to go with that one.
Man, that's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, coming
sure.
on, spending some time with us. I always love chopping up ball
For sure,
with
man.
people who actually know what they're talking about. That's because, man, nowadays you can talk to anyone, feels like they can talk ball.
For sure.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Appreciate you guys having me. For real.
Absolutely, man. Thanks, dude.
Yep.
Guys, it's official. Run DFW is back in the 2025 TBT tournament that will be taking place this summer. But that's not all. Leading up to that, we have a lot of very exciting things that we're going to be rolling out for you, including our Beyond the Arc podcast, our Coach's Corner with Jake and Tebow, and other content that we will be posting on our YouTube. So make sure that you go subscribe and like all of those videos, because we're going to be spamming you with the highest quality basketball content around. And if you're looking for ways that you can become interactive, be on the lookout for a fan club that we're going to be launching very soon, so that way you can support us and we can give it right back at you. On top of all of that, over these next few months leading up to the tournament, we're going to be looking for ways to interact with our community and get involved with all of you guys, because we want to build this fan base and we want to thank you guys for supporting us in all of the ways that you do. So on behalf of all of Run DFW, I want to thank you and all of the support that you guys provide us in building the Dallas basketball community. Stay in touch with everything going on here at Run DFW, so that way we can go win this TBT in the summer.